Purple.
Hey, what is up, guys? Wallow J here with my co-host Miguelino. Miguelino, say what's popping to the peoples.
What's popping to the peoples?
You become so lame. But anyway, our other co-host, he's got a 20-pound brain, so he says. We don't really
There,
fucking
he
know.
just jumped off. He said he's out.
Well, fuck you then.
You did like disrespect.
Our other co-host, Egg, say what's up to the peoples.
What's up to the peoples? There, Mickey. Come
There
on.
you go. Bringing that BDE, you know what I'm saying? Miggy had that low energy, but anyway, our other co-host, he is the dream, Stephen Aiken. Say hello, Stephen.
Hello, Steven.
So we were talking behind the scenes about the disrespect, the rankings, all kinds of things. Let's see. We got a comment already. Yeah, what's up, dog? We had to do it up, bro. So we were talking behind the scenes and again, disrespect, you know, how basically this is a game now. We're trying to make it into a sport. So, basically egg all has to go by was stats, numbers. So there was no like real disrespect, but there was some disrespect.
Well, okay. It's difficult just to quickly defend myself. So many people put together rankings. I think
Yes.
probably my favorites was Kevin Buring's girlfriends, who surprise put Kevin Buring as number one. I like that one.
Wait, was that a power ranking or just a regular ranking?
All power.
Oh, then it counts. It counts.
Okay, well, sure. But the point is, like, besides just putting up, a 1 through 20 list of names, I mean, the PGF Insiders tries to give you some analysis, and so you write a whole article trying to give you the behind the scenes why we're thinking these things, or at least why this guy's thinking these things. And it's a big challenge because trying to take their past history in other formats and apply it to the PGF and anticipate, what they're going to do. It's hard because the PGF is just different.
It is. I just hope that they really didn't feel disrespected. I mean, because it's going to be
I
kind of
did.
hard to. You did? Okay. Why did you feel disrespected, Stephen?
No, I hope that they did feel some kind of way about it because
My bad.
I will be bringing my gear. I'll be there on the open mats.
and not in the way that they're gonna look to harm Egg in any sort of way or attack him or even come up and say something about it out of the way, but having that little bit of a chip on your shoulder, even like silently to yourself, is just going to make some of these guys have a newer level. They're trying to prove something that maybe they didn't think that they needed to prove still, or they you hear somebody say something sometimes and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to shut that dude up. And that just gives you like a new like level just immediately than what you've been operating at. So I hope that some of the guys that saw themselves in a place they weren't happy with, I hope you do take it as like a bit of a disrespect, and you come out there and you prove to people who put you down, prove them wrong. Make it to where you make them eat those words, and then it's fine. You're good. But if you don't do that, then you just make them right, and that's not what you want. So come out there, be mad, and show the world what's up.
Well, last season you had Travis Thomas, just shove it up Egg's ass real quick. As soon as he got a chance to get in an interview, it's like, yeah, how's that 11 ranking looking now, buddy? Type of thing. So I hear what you're saying, Dream.
And I'm not gonna lie either. The night of the draft last season, when they were paying Travis like the second most amount, I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, they're just hooking up the homie because they love their friend, and that's what I would do too as well. I didn't even see that Travis was going to probably be able to finish as high as he did. Excuse me, in the last season. I definitely thought that he was going to be of the best players, but I didn't have him at number 2 either. So
yeah, that was a homie. That wasn't a homie hookup at all. Unlike Miggy's, last week for Kevin Sherrill. What was his number? 19th, and he got $2,100. God damn.
Bro, I had the stakeholders involved. You didn't hear them. They were at the door banging. They're like, you better save the money for handsome Kevin or your ass is grass. Dude.
Bro, my guy Samson at 14 got $100. You know what I'm saying? That was the steal of the draft. I'm sorry.
That was the homie hookup right there for you, man.
I don't know, man. I've been getting DMs from people saying that Sadler pick is the one that he's going to be somebody that people don't know about, that's going to really come out there and surprise people, that he's really hungry and he's really like looking for something to make a statement, to get himself out there. So
this might be it.
Yeah, no. It's definitely the opportunity. So I hope that's the case, and if so, then your boy lucked out and got him for that grand. I was just bidding to make y'all go higher, and then everybody just stopped. And I was like, shit, then I got more money for the next guy now. Let's go.
No, I mean, anytime you get somebody under 2,000 is definitely a value pick. The problem with Sadler is just he doesn't have a lot of sub-only matches out there. He definitely has a lot of that IBJJF type of scoring system matches out there. And so he's coming from Autos, the great wrestlers. And so they got the tactics down. Yeah, they just, they circle, boom, they got you, they got their points, and then they're controlling, and they win the match most of the time on points that I've seen from him. And so that's why I kind of ranked him a little bit lower. I mean, obviously had that highlight against Max Hansen, who's number one, showing that awesome, jumping, flying triangle that he finished as an arm bar. But, in the Grappling Discourse podcast, Mascaf talked about that just in his latest episode. That's a low percentage move that he used to get that submission. So can he get many submissions in these matches? That's this kind of question. Again, in this format, the PGF is completely different than everything else, and we'll just have to see.
So question then, you just said something that made me think about it. And I'm pretty sure you do have this. Of the submissions in the PGF, what percentage is like, what submissions are the high level percentage submissions, and which ones are he just kind of threw that one and got some luck? Is that something you have already, or is that we gotta call in some 24-pound brain folks to get that one going too?
It's going to take a minute.
He's probably going to go to Elijah, who's got the most submissions. And
no, because
what triangle?
No. I mean, so it's rear naked choke generally is the number one, I think. It's going to take me a minute. Sorry, guys.
Where's your
keep going.
Okay.
I'll get to it.
How about this? We talk like from a strategic standpoint, right? People to at least go for chokes, right? Go for kills. Now the question is, do we get more breaks?
Well, because now the game's changed a little bit, I think, to where there will be the dunkables. Who they are, though, may not be as many or as often as we think, or as in previously, done seasons. We've talked about it several times on here, and I've heard, a few other people who are in the know really talk about not being able to like skip submissions this time, maybe, and you got to just kind of take what you can get. I think last season was a little bit more like that too. I think there were guys that were still not able to like just take anything they wanted from some of these guys. You had like Duval Paul out there like putting it down and giving people really hard matches, and he wasn't putting up a bunch of points every single time, but some of those really higher level guys who finished at the top of the season had a hard time like scoring on him and putting them out and different things like that too. So it's just really interesting is like, if a guy, everybody's good at defending rear naked chokes, and can you get to someone's back and finish them with a rear naked choke in 6 minutes? That can definitely happen a lot easier in a longer setting where you've cooked them a little bit, you got them tired, finally broke their will, you get on their back, but definitely like, Waldo brought up a good point with like Elijah's like triangle. A triangle is, a great submission, but the way like Elijah's come on sometimes, it's like a snap triangle, it's like a fast, it's quick. It's, you can see it coming, but it's just, it's final in a way. So I do wonder how that's, skewed maybe some of the numbers with him being so, prolific throughout so many seasons of the PGF. That's an interesting line of thought too, and if with time that kind of dissipates, and we see it come back up to some sort of natural line because Egg's right. It's usually rear naked choke is always hunting around the top, and then guillotines and arm bars and triangles, things like that. Some Kimuras stuff, and then heel hooks are all back in vogue.
So I mean, just from I get season 5 handy. Season 5, he had 30 heel hooks. You had 17 inside, 13 outside. You had 12 rear naked chokes, 10 triangles. Those are the biggest ones in the double digits. Then obviously you had 5 arm bars, 3 ankle locks, 5 guillotines,
straight ankles.
Yes, three straight ankles, 5 darces. So I mean, sure. I mean, as we go up in caliber, because so many people, especially in sub only, have been doing leg locks. And that's kind of like, you don't have to pass guard. I mean, even with the rule set of the PGF that rewards kills, rewards passing the guard and getting that guillotine or getting that rear naked choke. Hey, as we go up in capabilities of people, you just got to take what you can a lot of times. And if that's a quick heel hook, got it.
Oh, hold on. I got it right here. Oh, we got watchers with information out here.
Hold on, I'm gonna put them up on the screen here shortly.
Keelan sent us some stats that he had already made up somewhere on some graphs and things like that. So it's already pretty, and so while I can plug those in from the text message, but that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. Let's see. Is this all PGF universally?
So that's the thing. There is one for all the seasons. I just can't find it at my fingertips right now.
I'm uploading them. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay. So
while I do this,
Keelan, what does the red versus the black mean in that one graph? There's black and then the red's on top.
Yeah. So that means with that, the red is actually done, and then the black is failures. If it's the same one I'm looking at that I have, that's from season 5.
So the black is failure rate.
Yeah. No, the black's just failures total. Yep. That's what I got too. That's why I was reading off to you guys.
Okay. Sick.
Okay.
I like that visual.
Never mind.
No, put it up so we can say it.
Yeah, you can put it up. It's fine.
Let me
move our big heads around.
Right.
My 19.5 pound brain.
Let me add them as an overlay, and here we are.
Hey, there we go.
Do you think concussions make your head heavier? Because then my brain might be bigger than yours.
Yeah, swole up, bro.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Get that.
Oh, this is fluid, brother. Sorry.
Let's go. 22 pound.
All right, here you go. That's the charts that you guys were looking at, right?
Yeah.
So 67 missed guillotines.
I mean, that's just like, they're like Poirier, man. They love shooting, jumping that guillotine.
No, that's what I was saying. It's it's always higher up there because people are, it's right there a lot of times to kind of use as an initial threat.
What? The knee bar has 100% success rate. Same thing with the chair. So let's hold the electric chair as well. Wild.
Well, I mean, you got to think it's Sam Schwartzfeld did the electric chair, I think. Or, I mean, I think they gave it to him as an electric chair.
Look at how I am.
This all happened last season?
I believe so.
Oh,
Yeah.
this would be the whole PGF, bro. What?
I don't remember some of these.
Oh, there does.
It's got to be whole PGF because knee bars.
Yeah.
Well, it says PGF season 5's total chart. I don't,
Well, because hold on.
Somebody there were 2 dog bars. That's also like a knee bar, but that's like a really.
Right, we're going to
that's calf slicer. Calf slice.
Is that the calf slicer? Okay, my bad. Okay,
good. That dude, the numbers,
the concussions,
success rate.
All right, she's saying those are from Brandon Stats Guy on Reddit.
Yeah.
All right, Stats Guy.
Wait, because how many matches are there a night?
Oh God,
20 times 3, 60.
60 matches a night. Oh,
it's not quite that.
So I guess if you do 60 times, that's like 303 or
240. Like the numbers look super high, but yeah, I forgot about that part.
I forget how much we just do so many matches, man. It's so hard.
So never mind. This could be just one season. Then we definitely have way more numbers.
That is super interesting and very cool. Thank you, stats person, for making this
Yep.
this visual, because I could hear it, but I think I'm more of like a visual guy in that way.
Yeah, same.
Now you get us all zoomed in all close.
Like, it's like when you go to take a picture on your phone and you forgot that front camera's on. You're like, you're like, oh shit, that's me. You know,
Handsome.
I can't relate, bro. I unfortunately can't relate. I
Team
feel like
Handsome captain of the
hey, look at
season.
y'all do that. Y'all like, oh wait, that's not the other. You know,
You just gotta sell it. It doesn't matter if it. Nobody else has to believe it. That's not what makes it true.
Man, I gotta go to handsome school.
It's what you make it.
Fuck, you're gonna be there a long time. He's trying to get his doctorate in handsome at least 8-10 years. Keelan's saying 30 years. I don't even know where we're at. I got lost.
That's probably 30 matches a night. Yeah,
stats. Yeah. How did we end up? How do we end up talking about stats? Somebody brought up a point. I can't even remember what it was.
Try to see what was the most common submission, I believe, right?
We're talking about high percentage versus low percentage submission attacks.
Correct.
Because Sadler threw the flying triangle armbar and finished Max Hansen, and we were thinking how reliable things are versus other things, and then so I asked for stats.
I mean, the fact is, if you can get to somebody's back and you have a good amount of time, that rear naked choke is often good.
Oh man, if you can get it quick, right? You said it right. Like I just wonder what that time is, at a certain level against high level people too, because we've seen people ride the back on like EBIOTs where you start there for 2 minutes. They had to max it out because guys were starting to get so good at holding and defending that it was going several minutes at a time. And so I think that's just really interesting. Like I think a 10-minute match, once you start getting the back at 3 or 4 minutes in, that makes it a lot different than versus getting the back at 3 or 4 minutes in, and now you got 2 minutes left, and you've got to get something going.
Yeah, you switch off to that arm bar if you can't get the rear naked choke, or you said you got to do something.
Even too, right? It's going to be fun to see how scrambles are this season for me. Just
is the mat going to be the same size?
Oh, that's a good question.
I have not seen. I've seen the venue, but I haven't seen the mat size. I'm hoping that at least it would.
Keelan, do we have a specific measurement that we're working with already that you know of, or is it just something that we have?
Can you compare to the recent? Like, hopefully,
it's a basketball court.
Yeah,
it's a pit.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
The off the wall submission.
Oh, but isn't that Karate Combat doing that now? Haven't they added like jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Craig Jones on there. He did that. He did a flying triangle
off the wall.
That was pretty awesome.
The wall. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Off the wall submission.
Yeah.
Hold on. So,
of course, you would bring that up.
Of course, that's why I bring it up. Look at that photo right there. Yeah. All right, I'm back. Oh, I can put it. Can you see? It's pretty tiny, but you see that handsome Australian gentleman makes you want to eat a Vegemite sandwich. You know what I'm saying? The one that comes from the land down under.
No homo.
No Diddy.
No.
Diddy.
He's all Diddy. All Diddy.
Trying to make it. So I guess we don't know. That's okay. Either way, I think it's preparation week right here. I got to learn to get my words right in the next 3 days or whatever before we get out here. So I'm gonna get all my mistakes out.
Did you learn all the names and everything?
Man, I think so.
Don't fuck up Kieran's name, bro.
Nothing.
Hey, Kyron, is there a Kyron here?
That when Joanne was doing. Joanne Chamberlain was doing the match at the first one that she was on for PGF, and I called her Joni, and I was like, and she just looked at me and was like, it's Joanne, and I was like I knew that too. Like I just looked at the word on the paper though, and just said what I just kind of zoned out there. So it was like, all right, man, I'm gonna try my best, and I know your names. I might still do it wrong.
Yo, look, if you mess up, if you mess up, right, when they go to correct your name, be like, her remix, maybe show business, and just walk away,
Listen, if you guys have paid any attention, usually the first thing that I do on every episode is traumatizing in some way to me. You may not see what happened behind the scenes, but there was some crucial information that I wasn't given or that I misplaced, or either, like I said, I say a name wrong on accident, or is the order is different, or it's just one of those funny things that's kind of happened pretty routinely to me. So I'm just trying to get those thoughts, like
It happened at
processed again.
Subversive last night.
Did it? I didn't get to
Yeah, I
catch that.
saw it. Yeah, he called the athletes twice, and I'm like, yeah, you already called both of those people.
It happens.
But it happens, man. It happens.
Like, I watch those guys now with a lot different respect for what they're doing, and a lot of times singing in the car and just randomly screaming out.
But
see if I can get people to pop walking around Walmart and just start announcing shit and seeing if people will pop for it here. I've only been asked to leave twice. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool.
If you call out, like TJ Parch, then I'll be like, oh, he fucked up bad. Because I don't know who TJ Parch is.
There you go.
Please,
like preparation, Stephen.
Ayo, to the putter banther. The putter banther.
Like, I don't think I'll do anything that bad, I guess. This is, I can't think of anybody's name necessarily that's left that's too strange. The problem is just going to be like the cadence for the walkouts or whatever, and if I could plug in like the nicknames, and that usually has to come in house a lot of times. I'm here by myself, and we do some like stuff, hanging out with each other, talking pre and post show, or we'll get into like some group chats and stuff, and then the inspiration will start rolling, and we'll start hitting some stuff away right then, and that's just kind of what I'm looking forward to for that first day or so before we start the draft, is to get there with each other and like kind of get that vibe back, pick up again, and start trying to get the shtick rolling so your boy can be in character, so 24 by 24. Okay, that's good for a one-on-one.
I mean, and we had Kieran Keychuk here on, as a guest already. So, I mean, that was probably the ones that gets messed up the most.
The bastard.
Yeah. There we go. Hey, just real quick. So I took that spreadsheet I downloaded so I didn't mess it up, the one that was online. And as Miggy said, knee bar is 100%. It had last season, they had 2, Dead Orchards 2, Banana Split, Electric Chair 100% with 2. Anaconda had was a 60% success rate with 3 done. Inverted arm bars 60% with 3 out of with two misses, three submissions.
What's an inverted arm bar? In the context
of consider
it?
That what Travis got is the inverted?
I thought it was a shotgun armbar.
Yeah, shotgun arm bar against Matt Elkins. Maybe that's known. I'm not 100%.
I feel like belly down would be inverted. Yeah, but
is that together?
No. So, yeah, I'm just curious. Does it mean belly down, or is that the one where like your shoulder crunching, or
Because again, there's so many variations.
Is that the same thing because the arm is turned this way versus this way?
Stat man, where are you?
See, this is the kind of jiu-jitsu nerd I am, and that's why I'm a bit of an annoying student.
Texas Cloverleaf 50%, but as we said, some of the bigger ones like the inside heel hook was at 47% with 17 submissions there. Outside heel hook had 46% with 13 done. Triangle was 40% with 10 and 15 they were not successful. And rear naked choke was 35%, having 12 rear naked chokes and 22 unsuccessful attempts at rear naked chokes. So like you said, I mean, anymore with EBI overtimes and people practicing that, a lot more people are getting really dang good about getting out those rear naked chokes. I keep going, but those are some of the bigger ones out there. And just to go back to it a little bit, I think I did give a premium in my rankings to people that had PGF experience. Just like we had Cameron Hurd on here, and just the understanding and the learning that, hey, 6 minutes is not a lot of time, and sometimes it takes you thinking that and going through it to really understand it and to evolve your game. So I mean, obviously, Stephen, you've competed in this, but the question is, how quickly do you realize that you have to change your game for this rule set?
It was pretty much day 3, I think, for me. and it seems like based on the seasons I've been around and working on the season 2 is really like for the people who haven't been there is when it sets in on day 3 kind of. You know, day 1 is like, you know, I'm just kind of here. It's gonna be fun. Gonna compete hard. Gonna win. You know, it is what it is. Day 2, you're like, all right, you know, still got a long time left, you know, and it matters, but you're still able to see the finish line. You know what I mean? By not necessarily needing to win every single match. And then after day 2, when you go home that night, everybody's kind of like in their order, sort of. There's a few outliers each time, you know, where guys have had earlier easy season versus late season being tougher. That always happens, and that messes with the people who had the hard stuff first sometimes, I think. Like for myself, I don't know if I can't remember the exact order, but like I just remember like after that night of day 2, I was like, oh shoot, there's a couple guys ahead of me and I'm not as high as I want to be or should be, I feel like, and I have hard matches left. I need to like have had better scores. I think I not lost, but drew out that match with Evan Stapler and had given a ton of energy to that match, you know, and he just fought off my attacks pretty hard, you know, and I just needed the points and couldn't get them. So I was just like carrying that frustration from not getting that over into the end of the night and stuff like that. And I was like, the next 3, you know, the next 3 were pretty tough. I think I had Jake and Matt still left on my schedule, and maybe even Elijah too, after that second night. And so I had gotten through some of my easy ones and let slip a couple of the ones that I should have probably beat in my mind. So I think it's around, I think day 3 is when, if you haven't already like clicked in and started like getting points, you start getting really anxious to do that. Or, you know, we'll see if guys are going to fold mentally after that, this situation, because you're not really mathematically out of it for ever, hardly, almost. Like even on the last day, the guys who hadn't scored, if they had a run, like a really hot run, you could still make the playoffs on the last day most of the time. There's a couple people.
Yeah, you can have a Noah run where he scored 28 points in a night.
Yeah, and so like it's hard, right? Obviously, if you've been a 0 guy all week long to turn that on, but if somehow, some way you get the lucky dunkable matches and maybe an alternate had to get brought in on that day, on the last day and things, and you get you a few 7s or whatever, I think there's mathematically been a chance for pretty much everybody going into day 4, and definitely on day 3, everybody still has a chance. So you'll see people really like want to dig in then.
Well, look at you know, Kevin Sherrill last season. You know, he took the spa day, but he still wasn't out until like what, the last day?
The last day.
Yep.
Pretty much after that first match. I mean, so to your point, so a few things just to recap for the fans. Alternates have not been announced.
Not yet. That should be coming out shortly. I would hope. I mean,
within the next 7 days.
Within the next 7 days, we'll know who the alternates are.
Yeah. You'll be happy. You'll be happy. Trust us.
How do you know?
Because we're the PGF insiders. With some inside
he might not be happy, you know?
Yeah, he might be like, what?
Like who are these alternates? You don't know.
Okay. So Jacob E1, you might be happy. Is that better, Wallow?
Might be Jacoby 1, but okay.
Okay, Jacoby 1. Holy cripes. Jacoby 1, you might be happy. No, you can't get inside info because I'm not going back on double secret probation. It's not happening, my friend.
I mean, he is right. He is asking the PGF insiders to give him some PGF information.
That's fair.
Think about who was brought in to replace Kaiwan Gracie, and they would be someone, perhaps some of the alternates are people you could relate to in some way.
He makes a great point. Why the hell is he watching the insiders for if we're not going to give him that?
I'm trying to feed you some stuff. I'm trying to shoot you
bro.
some stuffs here. You saw who replaced Kaiwan Gracie, and if you could think of other people that you'd like to see replace people, then
wait. I think we can release who the alternates are. Are they official? We got a list of officials, right? Keelan, I'll tell you what. If Keelan says that
The streets are literally watching. Tell us what we can do.
yeah, Keelan, what's up? Tell us whether we can release the alternates or not. All right, Jacoby, hang tight. When Keelan tells us, we'll let you know.
All right. So going back to something, I was gonna that asking forgiveness doesn't work, brother. I'm not doing that again. So all right, going back to what I was going to
I think one of the alternates has popped in. Oh, there's a guy named Nunchuck. I heard he's an alternate. Oh no, wait. What? I heard Nunchuck is an alternate. What?
Oh.
What?
Nunchuck.
Dude, yo, Jacoby One or Jacoby One, how you pronounce your name, dog? If you know Nunchuck, dude, I heard he's an alternate. He makes great memes. Look him up on Instagram. That's all. Woo, man. We just leaked the alternate there to him.
All right.
There you go, brother. If you don't know who he is, sorry. But we told you somebody.
Please, God.
Let's just talk a little strategy. So maybe one of the reasons why Jacoby One watches us is for some insight. So obviously we all know the only way to score in the PGF is to get a submission.
0 alternates make the playoffs.
Oh, I think
okay.
What is he saying?
What are you talking about?
I'll leak one. Oh crap, we're fighting there. Playing tag. I'll let you put it up.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You
have
it.
All right, cool. All right, let's see it.
Tell us.
Tell
us, bro.
I like you, Jacoby. I think you could play.
You guys didn't read between the lines there, guys.
Watch, you guys say something like your mom. Watch, you say your mom or something.
Noticed? Why didn't we put it up there? Of course.
Okay. Well, pardon me.
Damn, he thinks that because he's got that 20-pound brain that our 3-pound brain can't function.
You're the one that said how many pounds your brain was.
He's just on a special kind of the spectrum, y'all. Y'all leave him alone.
No lie detected. All right.
He said CM are the initials.
Punk? What? We're getting CM Punk?
So he's not really hurt. Man. He's just faking
the straight edge superstar is going to be at the PGF. Man.
Hey, we got Kai in here. Nice. What's up, brother? Okay. I've tried it like 3 times, but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
A few thoughts there that people might not be thinking about. We all know the PGF, the only way we get points is by submissions. 6 points for a kill, it's a choke, 3 points for any type of joint lock, a break, any type of joint lock, whether it be arm bar, leg lock, wrist lock, please get a wrist lock. And we also know that if you get a submission in that first minute of the match, you get that bonus point, the elbow genie bonus point. But a lot of people aren't thinking about the team points. And that's another reason why, really you're most people are not mathematically eliminated until that last day, because there's going to be multiple blocks a night. So each competitor gets 3 matches. So their team will have 3 blocks, and if they win that block, if that team has more points than all the other teams in that block, everyone on that team gets a team point, and it matters. We saw last season that Travis Thomas actually scored more individual points than Elijah Carlton. But since Elijah Carlton was on the Epic Roll, Yankees, he had, he won the regular season. He had more points because they had so many team points. So it matters a lot.
Steven, you're not going to rebut that. You're not going to say he knew that he had it in the bag, so he only went for the break.
Oh, I'm not saying Elijah couldn't have gotten more points, but
no, he couldn't get more points. He got as many as he could.
But that weren't you the one that mentioned that Elijah could have gotten more if instead of going for the break, he had gone for the choke?
So every season he's been on, 1, 2.
No, I'm talking at the end. We're talking at the end of the season where
I said that.
I think it was you.
I don't think I ever would have defended Elijah unless it was to refute something Egg said specifically.
Okay. So historically, Elijah in his first match of a season has settled for a break when he probably could have gone a kill. Each season 1, season 2, and season 5.
Season 2,
season 3 as well.
He definitely skipped some chokes to get some breaking tips in season 2.
So it is what it is. So he could have gotten more points. But the teams, not only being a question of who gets the $100,000, but a lot of ways that they can do that is by getting those team points.
It does add up because of all the blocks, and it's true. It's true. Travis was the number 1 point scorer by himself, but his team didn't help him in that regard.
Ooh.
And if it was this season, last season, he wouldn't have made any money. And the Epic Roll guys would have got paid, and Travis could have scored 1,000 points, and he still wouldn't have made any money. So it definitely is a thing. And we saw in the comments that, you know, Andy Varela said that if he comes out here and doesn't get $20,000, he's going to slap somebody. And I believe I saw him slap somebody for free. So,
I believe him.
Like, yeah,
I saw
he slapped him for way less. That's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all better not be on his team and be playing.
Yeah, that motherfucker means business.
He's got time. It's time to eat. He's got bills to pay and goals to smash, and he has not been scared of anybody anywhere ever that I've seen. So, you know, Andy's, I like the vibe that he's bringing into it, you know, and being like ready to go. And it's going to be interesting to see, because this isn't the homie group anymore where everybody's trying to be friends and things like that. It's going to be competitive, and everybody's going to be individuals on a team looking, though, probably, you know, still trying for themselves. So, but they got to have the other guys, and that team point at the end of each block is going to give them all 1 point towards that total. And then at the end of that, that's what's going to really matter.
I mean, think about it, just to wrap up before we go to this anti-stalling. So, you have 12 blocks in the season possible. So if one team runs away with it and gets that bonus team point for each block, that's 12 points. That's 2 kills worth of points for that team. I mean, that if you do that, that team has a very large chance of winning the $100,000, and each member of that team has a very large chance of making that top 8 and making that playoffs.
Well, I think that's what Kevin was talking about last week, talking about, you know, with the injuries, you know, if you get like an alternate in, you know, and somebody has an alternate and they score, you're going to see just teams running away with the points because they're going to be, you know, getting that extra point.
Well, it's kind of like the NFL. I mean, so many times with the NFL, you might have, you know, the best team of the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's all about who's healthy. With the gauntlet format of the PGF, being able to have your whole team available to you the entire time is huge. And so, you know, Handsome Kevin's point's well taken. I mean, if you have to go for a bench player, that could drastically affect other teams' ability to score and maybe steal those team points away from you.
Well, you're going to need a stopper like what Steven was calling him, you know, last week. You need a stopper or somebody who's on the level that potentially can score you points. So, you know, Kevin said that, you know, the alternates are, you know, kind of refer to them as dunkables, but it's going to be.
The interesting thing that he brought up too, though, is like, who are the guys that don't like to tap and are not super familiar with the PGF? If you are a guy who does not like to tap and on day 1 or 2 you get hurt, all the other stuff goes out the window. And whether you stay in or if you don't, are you better than the alternate would be for your team if you're limited? Like Kevin took that day off, you know, and we went and did our thing, got massages and, you know, treatments and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, he put those alternates in there and he would have gotten beaten just the same and maybe worse than those alternates did on that day. That's why he took the day off. And he could have taken the rest of the week off and still been whatever. You know what I mean? He legitimately was hurt, and it knocked him completely out of the season, even though he was mathematically eligible to be in during the whole thing. I knew once I saw his foot when he came back, I was like, ugh. You know, I love him, but he's probably just not going to make it. There's just not enough points available that he can get with that limited time and himself not being able to finish everybody. because of the lack of being able to use that foot, or even like show it to the other guy, because as soon as they grab it, he's got to start retracting it or doing something with it that's going to allow them to pass. We saw, I think it was Sam Schwartzapfel went after it for a half second. He had to like retract or whatever, and that led to some passing attempt. So it just is what it is. And so if one of these elite guys gets a nasty pop on day one, or a couple of them on day one, man, it's all fun and games when you're watching it at home, and like we're making jokes about people on TV, but if you're on the other side of that foot break, you'll be carrying your ass to the spa too.
Well, there's 2 points I'd like to bring out from that if I can. One, to your points, he just didn't have the points available anymore. Because if you miss a day, that's 25% of the regular season. That's 25% of the possible points you could have, put towards your totals that are just gone. The second thing there is, like, as we were kind of alluding to, is when his team had to resort to a bench player, the bench players, don't get mad at me, guys, we're not quite as good as the bench players this season, and just weren't the same. So the people that he put up instead of him, all of a sudden he's giving kills to the opposing team. I'm pretty sure the guy that went in for him, or guys that went in for him, gave up kills to everyone they went against, and so that helped out those other people. And sorry, we didn't get to the anti-stalling stuff, but at some point we will, because I think that's going to
whenever.
Sure, I just think that when we get to that, that's another strategy change that we saw in the combine, its effect, but it'll be interesting to see how it affects the regular season.
No combine this year.
I'm sorry, not combine, the qualifier. I apologize. The qualifier. We saw it in qualifier where Brandon was throwing the flags, and we got the shot clock and the anti-stalling stuff. It could really change this season. I think it's going to be great because I think the new rules are going to get rid of. And granted, we pretty much had good matches all the time. It was a rarity that we had a match that was not exciting, but this should just push the action even further.
Percentage-wise, 240 matches in a week, there's going to be some duds.
Yeah,
again,
but I think there will be less.
Watch your back, Egg.
Did we have a lot of duds last season?
A couple. That's what I was saying. There was a couple. But when you see them though, and if they're at a certain point of the night, it really sucks the energy out of the room. And like, at least for us, I don't know if the people at home feel that way as much, but definitely for us, if we've been seeing these like killer like matches where everybody's like slugging it out and exchanging and getting after it, and then all of a sudden somebody just starts ducking and running the whole time, it's just like, oh my God, this is terrible. Strategically, I understand it. So part of me is like, all right, I get it. But every part of me while I'm in that venue at that moment is like, get them off the stage. Boo, get them out of here. And I know that that's wrong. But in that moment, that's how I feel, because everything else has been so exciting. That one moment feels just terrible.
Mm-hmm. Like the Fyodor versus Elijah, where both of them just didn't really want to engage or couldn't force an engagement that they wanted on their terms.
That was like an interpretive dance or some shit. I don't know. They were doing some like stage performance together to demonstrate jiu-jitsu moves.
Yeah. So we have them pulled up now. And again, we saw them previewed at the qualifier in Las Vegas. So there is a shot clock. So you get 20 seconds. There's not going to be any just dancing on your feet. Is somebody going to do anything? Are we just going to hand fight forever? At 20 seconds, somebody's going to throw the flag. Well, we don't know if it's going to be the commish, Brand McCatherine, or, we know that Eddie Bravo is now going to be the head referee. Maybe he'll have the flag tucked and he'll throw it. But as it says, if there's not a deep shot attempt within 20 seconds, the flag's going to be thrown. All right. And then they're going to, be set to the ground. And I think it is coach, referee's position is a standard. Is that correct? I think that's what I saw in what I read.
Referee's position is the wrestling referee's position, where you're down on like the quad, hands and knees, not quite turtle, but sort of like turtle. Yeah, but you're up on your hands more than you're down on like your
frames. Yeah, so more like a dog fight kind of setup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like exactly. But you don't get the overhook or anything like that. Your hands are both on the floor, and the other person gets like a tight waist. I think.
Yep.
Very, very like high school wrestling, college wrestling.
I mean, that seems pretty fair for getting us straight into action. So I'm pretty happy to see that.
Yeah, you're not on their back with hooks in. You're not on
Exactly.
the
You
front.
still got to work for it.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, if before we go to the fantasy, could we kind of finish the anti-stalling stuff real quick?
Sure. I just wanted to put the link up
ADHD.
there for Jacoby One, who asked
okay.
for where they could play the fantasy. So you go to
Gotcha.
Fantasizer. Link is in the comments, and back to the styling rules.
All right. So going back here, here's the thing: we've had some people that kind of like dance around the edges, and the thing is, that's not going to fly anymore. As it says, if you're 3 more steps backwards, boom, you're avoiding. If you're not progressing, it's all there. You must demonstrate an ongoing effort to create and engage in offensive maneuvers. So you have to do this. You have to actually be working towards a submission, be working towards, at least, improving your position. And the big thing here is if an athlete incurs 3 or more penalties and the match results in a draw, the athlete without penalties is awarded 2 points. And even more, if you get 5 penalties, you're done. It's over. The opponent gets 2 points. So no more. No, stalling is not an option anymore. So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, that we're trying to make this, a sport that people can watch. It's when you have situations where people are just, like you said, dancing around the stage. It's like, okay, where's the engagement? What am I watching here? Are we watching somebody running around for 5 minutes and waiting for the last minute to make some sort of entry that might not go well? Because, you've been dancing for 5 minutes. What are you going to do? So nobody wants to watch that shit. So that's why this is done.
It's crazy because everything about the PGF was already made for action. 6 minutes makes you push the pace. Not getting a submission, getting a draw is the same as a loss because you've lost that opportunity to put points on the board. The kill is worth more than a break because we want people actually passing guards, and working towards, greater positions rather than just going, for a quick leg. But to the point that if you do go for a quick submission, you get that bonus point. So again, action. And now we just kind of like, I guess the last nail in the coffin of a boring match, hopefully, in that if you are stalling, you can just be completely disqualified and give 2 points to your opponent.
Yep. No, what I love about this, right, is, before guys would just think, oh, I don't want to risk it. Well, guess what? Now, either way, if you're going to be stalling, you're going to be, in a sense, losing, giving your opponent points. So just go for it this time, right? You have no reason not to, other than to cheat yourself and your team out of, $20K a pop.
Well, Steven said last week that he's got a team of chokers. What happens when that team of chokers can't get that choke within, the first 3 minutes? Are they going to, try to scramble and get something else? What are you thinking, Steven?
They're going to get them.
Oh, so you're saying
they can't run. The other people can't run from them. So they're going to be close enough.
No, I understand. But and the other,
he said
not defend.
No, he
said I said what I said.
No, he said his team is full of chokers because remember,
all right,
if you break the guy, you're not going to put him to sleep. So then they can't have a dream. You get what I'm saying, dog? Gotta get the choke.
Hey, well,
come on.
I call you your favorite name afterwards. No worries.
Listen, I think with these rules, that's part of the thing that I was saying that's gonna make it work for the guys like the ones that I picked in that way, thinking Eva Benetti and things like that. I know that there were talks that maybe he might be a little smaller than some of these guys, and that's possibly true too, but they can't not engage for 20 seconds at a time for 5 times in a whole 6-minute match. I've seen that happen thousands of times in Benetti matches where guys are going in, they touch his legs or something, and then they'll get back away. He got up and started wrestling and trying, forcing these weird, wild wrestling exchanges or whatever just to force that kind of action because people were doing it so much to him, and he realized that he was having to answer your question right here, Wallow. Yes, get up and start creating some sort of scenarios where people are having to get connected to him and be making moves together. And
Thank you.
that's what it's going to be, is that it's going to force them to be connecting to each other and staying connected, which is what jiu-jitsu is in the grand sense of the thing, is to see the connections moving together and who comes out on top of that with like the finish. It's strategically, yeah, a lot of reconnections, a lot of disconnect and restart, reset. That's the long game. We're not playing the long game anymore here.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get to the business of it all, and we're trying to see who could ride the wave the fastest all the way to the top. And if that's not you, PGF's not for you. I'm sorry. And I love it. And I love that other style of jiu-jitsu as well. It's predominantly more of my style. I'm more of the slower, longer, take your time, kind of set them up guy, whatever. But I also know that this is a different thing, and that's what it is. If you want to play the game, you just got to play the game, or don't play the game. So they can't run.
It's almost like it's almost like a different sport, because you have these constraints. I got to do this within 6 minutes, So
that's 5 calls is just one like 20-second interaction during each minute of the match.
Imagine having that in just your first match where you're backing up and
3 steps back.
I think they're gonna throw that flag early. They're gonna want to set the tone and make sure.
Who's throwing the flag though?
I don't think it can be Eddie. I don't think it can be Eddie for the same reason that he didn't step into the team coach role, because he wouldn't want to be that deciding factor in that way, and unless there was like a clearly defined something and someone else signaled and he threw it.
Yeah, there might have to be that way too, to help out,
like the booth.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Right. Because that way too, right? We'll have that more watchful eye as well on this, which also, again, like
Egg's gonna be the watcher.
Somebody's job is to start the clock, stop the clock.
Yeah, you're gonna see a yellow hat flung onto the mats every time when they hit the 20-second.
Nunchuck!
Yeah, it could easily be Keelan and Isaac.
And my only, I guess, a question that we'd have to get an answer to is, does the clock stop during those pauses? Because we didn't stop the clock for other resets in the history. Mm-hmm. But then that helps the stalling guy then.
It does.
It helps him run the clock down more.
I got it. I mean, there's strategy. So, I mean, here's the other thing. We talked about, the 3 blocks a night. Here's the thing. If a team is up by 3 points and you have one of your, not as strong guys out there, or maybe you have a replacement out there, and if you give up only 2 points, you still win the block and a point for everyone. There is a scenario where giving up the 2 points by having 5 stalls might actually be the play. I mean, it's going to be a random weird scenario, but if you run the math, it is possible. So
I don't think anybody's going to be thinking about it that deeply until like the 3rd or 4th day, maybe.
Yep.
But 4th day, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Strategery. It's interesting. I mean, you start thinking about
it is, because I don't know a coach that's going to be like, yo, stall him out 3 steps back 5 times and you out. That's cool. We'll give him the 2, but
for $100,000.
I think a couple of these guys might be savages like that.
Really?
I'm
just saying, for $100,000, if this is the last block.
Yeah, but wouldn't that ruin what we're trying to do?
So look at it though. It's just the points game then.
Yeah, no, it is the points game, right? Think about it this way. If you know you can only lose to 2 points versus a kill, fuck it. We might see that.
Maybe.
Classically trained.
We've seen that a little bit too in the past, right? So for some people going up against like Elijah in the past, if some of them would be close to getting, choked out, be close to getting that kill on them, and they'll like give up an arm. Just like, please, settle for a break. And that can be a win sometimes, giving them 3 instead of giving them 6. I mean, there's a lot of games within games with the PGF. I mean, Elijah said it, and it's true. And it's all interesting. And that gives us stuff to talk about. Like, after the every night, we're going to have that pre-show and the post-show those guys are awesome. And we're going to be writing our articles, putting up our our pictures, and it's just more interesting drama content, and it's gonna be awesome.
All right. Well, what else can we say? It's gonna be awesome, right?
Don't stall.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
solve.
Don't do it. Listen,
Yeah.
that's the one that if I could say anything, literally, if I could say any one like piece of advice from someone who's been in the season and then watched the season like up close for 2 through 5, definitely. One I was further away, didn't really like get all the feels, but you cannot scheme your way through this. You have to submit your way through this. It's the only way. The scheme is not the only scheme is to win. If you're not doing that, you're going to cost yourself, and you're probably going to cost your team.
It's like the Spartan said, man. You either come back with your shield or come back on it. If you play that way, the way that the Dream is talking about, I mean, even if you open up and you get submitted, you will be a fan. You'll
save it. Yep. Just let it go, and you'll save it for the next one. It's going to be smarter to go ahead and just get out there and mix it up and get it done than trying to look for that scheme or that next like thing. Because if you skip this match to get the next guy is going to also probably give you a 0 now because you tried to play some weird game. Like you can't like cruise through Miggy to get the egg, because now Egg's going to be somehow harder than he was before because you tried to do some fuckery. And so just go crush Egg if you can, and crush Mig if you can as well. And if you get submitted, then it is what it is. You just roll on to the next day. You just got to have your brave guy clothes on and just keep faking it all week long and then cry on the way home like I did.
And that's how you become a fan favorite.
We at least know that Kevin Buring has that mentality. He's like, nah, man, I'm not here to, block people from getting points. I'm here to get points. So that he's going to be trying to go all out and get his points every single time.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work to worry about that and taking away from other people. You just got to worry about getting for yourself in that way. Is like you got to have all the points yourself, and it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It doesn't matter how you can affect them unless you just beat them. That's the way to affect them the most, is by scoring and winning, not by trying to stall out their next opponent or the guy who would help them, or asking somebody else to not let Elijah submit them and you'll pay him that way that he'll stay down, because that's not going to work. Like it's funny, it's like campy or whatever, but it's never going to be the real answer that you need.
I think
off the mat scraps. What you think, Jacoby? You want to give some predictions here? You want to call a couple matches? You want to be matchmaker for us?
Well, I think the point he's getting to is that with $100,000 on the line for the team that wins, there can be there could be some saltiness. We already talked about before. Andy Varela said if he leaves there without $20,000, he's gonna slap somebody. I mean, you can see that, right? You can see maybe they do the strategy like Wallow did, and they get the top 2 guys, but the bottom 3 but they also have to sell for the bottom 3 because of just how the budget works. And the bottom 3 aren't making any points, and the top 2 are making points like we know, but they're not quite getting those points. For the
Are
team
you
Boston.
still salty about your team? And is that why you're pointing out that I had the last 2 guys?
No, man. I'm telling you that that's a valid strategy that we were all thinking about, and we could easily see that with the coaches this season. They go for the top tier guys, and then you're just left with the rest of your budget. So if the other 3 guys, if they don't pull their weight, and then the front 2 guys are just killing it, but they don't win. About day 3, that could lead to some serious friction.
And perhaps. I think that's one avenue of it, but I also think just the other teams starting to chirp and get at each other throughout the week, and then the money being close, and then they're trying to get somebody to, again, this guy's telling that guy to do, stall them out or whatever so that they can get, make it to the end, or, all those different things specifically against one other person, you know what I mean, from the other team. I think you're definitely going to see some of that, or, like with Kamoy and Nick last season, maybe there'll be some gamesmanship type stuff where somebody's trying to draw out a type of reaction from somebody, and perhaps that could bleed over into an off the mat kind of situation where some of these guys don't have as much self-control as maybe Kamoy and Nick showed after the fact, where they went and kind of hashed out what the specifics were on that deal. Some people may not have that way that Kamoy did, to walk over there and be like, hey, what is this? They might just walk over there and smack the shit out of them and then say that's what it is, and so there's that. So yeah, I definitely can see that aspect of it. It's a lot of money, man. I don't think most of these guys have had the opportunity to leave an event with this much money in their pocket for competing in jiu-jitsu, and maybe for doing anything ever, at one time like that. So this is, for most of the people here, life-changing money.
Yep.
It's not permanent life-changing money, but it's definitely currently life-changing money that can set you up, if you're a smart person, to keep these types of things coming your way, and being able to train more and have better opportunities to be a higher level athlete going forward. Even if you are the number 5 guy on whatever team that gets picked, this 20K may be the thing that helps you start training full-time now, where you don't have to have that part-time job or full-time job to work around it. You can kind of parlay it into something else. I don't know. It really goes that way for people in what we're doing here in MMA and jiu-jitsu and stuff. This goes back into the documentary stuff. There is no money. So $20,000 is a year's salary for some of these guys who are working as like freelance guys, and they're doing gig work. And, I know I was doing bouncing at nighttime at bars, and I was cooking in the mornings and stuff around lunchtime. That way I could have a split schedule to be training, at different times of the day before I finally got a position coaching and teaching and things like that. So it's definitely like, I would fight somebody for a lot less, especially when I was in that situation where there was really on the line for me to have an opportunity. And if you cost me an opportunity by doing something stupid, then yeah, I would totally see not necessarily they going over there and fighting somebody, but definitely like the tempers flaring over and somebody like having a moment, and hopefully we don't have that stuff, man. Like, it's funny to talk about the drama and all that kind of stuff, but I'd really hate to see anything like that happen. It'd be funny in a way to see the arguments and the things like that of people. The tension and everything is fun. Speculation like that is fun. But truly, man, I really hope nobody gets to that point where they really want to put hands on each other, or actually do put hands on each other during the season like that, because I think that would really sour the thing in a way. Because, even though we're all doing this thing and we're trying to make the money and trying to win or whatever, we're still one family, and we're still pushing towards one common goal and one common dream. And I want that to always still be like the case for the PGF and what we're doing. And we'll push the stories, and we'll try to, mine out the gold out of everything we can. But at the end of the day, we still are who we are. And our mission statement is not trying to start a bunch of wild fist fights and drama for no reason, just to get people to tune into our show and stuff like that. So I just want to say that as well.
I couldn't think of any better way to end it. I mean,
That was beautiful.
We've talked enough. We've said enough. We've ranked people enough. We drafted enough. It's time for action. April 21st, PGF World 6 goes down on UFC Fight Pass. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
So
it's
right.
almost here.